That is the Los Angeles Police Department. Those are demons also. You know both because of the specific environment where they're stalking. And you can see the screen on my phone, which is speaking to the demonic behavioral pattern and the federal stalking that is simultaneously being exposed about the demon possessed who are stalking in helicopters. And it is serving to prosecute and corroborate the evidence against the people of the state who are going to federal prison, and that are the people of the state living at Alvarado Gardens, engaged in an ongoing sex offense while engaging in surveillance with the state that's flying over my apartment in a helicopter on June 23rd, 2024 at 3:08 in the morning, with simultaneity to my pulling up exactly what you see on my screen about those demons who are stalking in a helicopter. This is with regard to Providence, regarding justice against the population that are the people of the state, the terrorists in the United States who are engaging in this matter of public corruption with the corrupt government. They are all going to federal prison, and they're doing so in the specific environment that I'm pulling up for you to see. The specific environment where the entity is documented group stalking all day long in helicopter yesterday, June 23rd, June 22nd, 2024, and with simultaneity to my pulling up this screen and preparing to document the people of the state, because the entity are obsessively engaged in group stalking, second by second, moment by moment, in other words, ceaseless corporate invasion of privacy by the demon possessed, who are consumed with and anticipating all the ways in which that they are going to be documented on a communication device, which is also speaking to the simultaneity of, it's literally the provision of evidence at this point as the entity engages in its pattern of conduct that is fully exposed. And so pursuant to that demonic behavioral pattern, the entity is necessarily engaging in surveillance, remaining in helicopters and sounding helicopters as I pull up the screen on my phone and begin documenting the people of the state who are going to federal prison for their criminal engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is why the entity is present, remaining in helicopters, while the people of the state are also criminally remaining present, living at a crime scene that is Alvarado Gardens, where I'm subject to state surveillance, and they are fully engaged in state surveillance with that state. Engaging in amplification, the demon possessed, the people of the state are engaging in their methods of amplification, sounding what's analogous to gunshots or fireworks, if you will, with simultaneity to what I'm doing on a communication device while they're invading my privacy in the specific environment, knowledgeable about my credit cards and what I'm looking at on my cell phone, in the same way that the demons are sounding helicopter activity with simultaneity to my documenting them engaging in that criminal activity. The people of the state are threatening with the state that's stalking in a helicopter, posing the highest threat. That's a threat while demon possessed agencies such as an illegitimate police department, which Dominic Choi is going to be permanently removed from his current role that he's holding under that corrupt leadership. The position that he is unfit, and both because he is demon possessed and also because of his demon possession bears what is the fruits of such condition, and it is legally relevant while they're engaging in a demonic pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. This is how you have a demon possessed agency that's devoting 24-hour surveillance, criminal conduct in concert with the population whom they are supposed to be serving and protecting, not serving Satan and protecting their criminal activity as they engage in it as together as one, terrorizing an American citizen. That's not what serve and protect means. That's not what they're supposed to be doing, but that's what they are doing. And it is because of their condition, and also because they have chosen to engage in criminal conduct, which is antithetical to the roles that they're supposed to serve and provide in American society, in California, in the United States at that. So again, it is currently, just so that you can see, it's 3:12 in the morning, starting this video at 3:07 while the entity, so that you can hear it and see what it is that they're monitoring on my phone in the specific environment. And remember, engineered light is sitting on my ceilings right now in the dark in my apartment. That has nothing to do with any street lamps that are appearing outside on the sidewalk. That's the demonic environment where demons are group stalking 24/7, engaging in what is hovering, obsessive surveillance to their own demise. At this point, the full pattern of conduct is exposed. And so you are literally just letting the camera roll while the demons engage in their pattern of conduct, which is placing them in federal prison for longer and longer and longer. It's directly relevant for purposes of federal charges and enhancement to federal sentencing. All right. And that's what I'm pointing out repeatedly while the entity continues to engage in surveillance, where they are also aware of the fact that it's being documented, and you are necessarily aware while you're engaging in surveillance on the venue of the internet, while you're engaged in corporate invasion of privacy, which is also supported by the evidence of your demonic and criminal pattern of conduct, stalking in the specific environment where unnatural light, where a light source is remaining over me and you're repeatedly systematically stalking, where engineered light is remaining all around me and you're repeatedly and systematically stalking. You are also speaking to what is real-time knowledge of everything that's being documented about your demonic behavioral patterns, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. And so this is what the LAPD is providing evidence against the people of the state in this specific environment that's inside of my apartment. This is June 22nd, 5:14 p.m. And this is while the entity is maintaining a light source. I documented the sunrise outside of my living room window, while the entity is stalking in the path with engineered light, as though sunlight is going to hit an apartment building, and then across the parking lot from that building, the shape of the windows that the sunlight is hitting is going to create. No, that's engineered light, stalking with engineered light, in the same way that the entity is inside of my bedroom all day long, which is what is on my ceiling inside of my apartment, as I documented at 6:41 in the afternoon, while the entity is maintaining perfect alignment, while the light source is still remaining in perfect alignment with me at 6:41. The maintenance of that, which is not the sun, because the sun is not going to be in a position in alignment with me inside of the same address at 6 o'clock in the morning and until 6 o'clock in the evening. And nor does sunlight create what is light both above, which is what you're looking at, engineered light, the pattern of the blinds appearing above my head. And the entity is maintaining this engineered light that is also appearing all over the ground, both on the ceilings and on the ground, while I'm documenting the P.O.C, appearing both above and below. In other words, this is demonic, and that's demonic behavior that you're listening to demons stalking in a helicopter. And the demons are stalking in helicopters in concert with the people of the state who are physically surrounding in that specific environment for purposes of engaging in what is massive surveillance. And that surveillance is continuing at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is what I'm documenting right now, on June 23rd, 2024. So this is speaking to the pattern of conduct, and this is exactly what I'm documenting amongst what are the people of the state. So I'm going to go ahead and document in the same way that I do on a daily basis. The people of the state who are going to federal prison, the people of the state that live at Alvarado Gardens, providing an intolerable level of criminal aid to the government that's engaged in state terrorism, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. And this entire population that is group stalking with the government, they are of the same condition. That's why you have the identical behavioral pattern, which is demonic activity exposed in the U.S. and the state of California. This is the reason as to the why regarding the public corruption that I'm exposing. This is demon possession, and this demonic activity has been criminalized, and you have what are consequences in the natural for the demented conduct that they are engaging in based on their spiritual condition, which is legally relevant because it's going to be prosecuted as terrorism, as it's resulting in unlawful behavior that is born of demon possession. So this is exactly what I'm documenting, and I'm going to capture in a screenshot, because this is exactly the documentation that I'm capturing moment by moment while the entity is stalking in helicopters. And I get it moment, I list the times, and I'm reminding as to who's being documented at the same time. It's the people of the state who are group stalking with that state. Maintaining presence, the state is relying on the criminal engagement in the elements of monitoring in concert with that state that uses helicopters in the state of California to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring in an unnatural environment. A scientific impossibility that the sun would be over me at the same property, for example, as I documented June 21st. At 5:03 in the afternoon. This is the same property where the sun rises in alignment through. I live at the same property where I'm looking at this light source. You're looking at the shadow of the palm tree. The fake sun's directly over me at the same exact property where I am documenting day in and day out a so-called sunrise. That's why it's not referred to as the sun, because that is not the sun. It's not the behavior of the sun. This is revealing what is demonic activity, which is occurring in a demonic environment that you have not beforehand been paying attention to. It's not the operation of the natural environment, nor is the Los Angeles Police Department's documented behavior natural either. It's demonic. And it's going to be prosecuted as the demonic criminal activity on behalf of the state, which is in conformity to a long pattern of conduct that the state of California has been engaging in for years, as the P.O.C. has exposed it. And so have the people of the state, the same entity that is engaging in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, as I have remained subject to it for a term of years and systematically documented it. So that's the significance of what I am documenting, the entity group stalking, at 3:07 a.m. when I'm starting the video. And that's exactly who is going to federal prison. The entity is engaged in ongoing amplification. Remember, amplification is state action as well. This is the heightened volume of any and every activity. Because the entity is stalking using firecrackers, it is not removing the state action, the demonic behavior of amplification. In addition to the demonic behavioral pattern, such use of audible activity is occurring with simultaneity to my activity on a communication device. And so this is pursuant to the sex offense that's underway. The entity that's engaged in corporate invasion of privacy is monitoring me while I'm opening up my apps, speaking to the invasion of privacy by the government, which the people of the state and the state are going to be prosecuted for, while I'm opening up my apps, entering in my passwords on the venue of the internet, looking at transactions that I paid for, looking at paying all of my bills. This is all information that's supposed to be private pursuant to the Title 18 22618 subsections 1 and 2. The entity is inherently engaged in federal stalking while it is engaging in its demonic behavioral pattern pursuant to what I do as I do it in the specific environment. And the people of the state that live at Alvarado Gardens in particular are going to federal prison for it while they are engaging in that ongoing criminal presence on behalf of the government, which is why you are punishing you're punishing the people of the state in order to deter any other people of the state in whatever state to refrain from engaging in terrorism with the state, because the state's criminal activity is directly telling on you. The state is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring with that population, which the pattern of conduct, the evidence of the pattern of conduct is directly exposing that. The entity does not and cannot do it without the people. It is a matter of public corruption and does it with the concerted behavior, presence, and activity creation with the demons who are the people of the state, which is why they cross path with engineered light, which is why they're engaging in the demonic pacing under the light source that remains over me, which is why they engage in this demonic activity in the specific environment in sync with the entity that's stalking in helicopters. You have an ongoing repeated acts of conduct within a pattern, and that's not a coincidence. It's impossible to have that coincidence in addition to what is the specific environment. The two aspects of the pattern of conduct are impossible to coexist on an ongoing basis. It is by definition a pattern by the government who is exposed thereby engaging in a matter of public corruption. It is a sex offense. It's terrorism by the state, and the people of the state are in the shoes of the state, and that entire population that includes corrupt organizations such as terrorist organizations like the LAPD. It is presenting the grounds of demilitarization. It's presenting the grounds of disbanding. It's presenting the grounds of removal of chief of police whose corrupt leadership are resulting in the ability, the facilitation, the ongoing engagement in such terrorism and sexual violence by a whole law enforcement agency. They're sex offenders, all of them demon possessed, engaging in what is criminal activity while you're in the role of a law enforcement agency. Yes, you're going to remove it altogether. Okay, they are literally a liability in American society. They're a pus-infected wound. All right, they are not needed, and they are not above the law either. And that's what DOMINIC, CHOI, and LAPD are going to learn. While their criminal conduct, this is what is so unfortunate, but it's sweet poetic justice, because the state's criminal activity, the people of the state are hereby paying the price for it, because the people of the state are the criminal, but you're now understanding what's supposed to be a law enforcement agency serving and protecting. They are actually criminals whose criminal conduct is serving to provide justice, where the criminals are the people of the state, and the state's criminal activity is serving to prosecute its criminal co-conspirator, the people of the state. So this is flipping that malice, flipping that public corruption on its head. It is currently 3:22 a.m. And just to be complete, so you can see the engineered light inside of my private space where the entity is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is demonic activity that's being practiced together as one, showing what is the light source excuse me, not the light source. At nighttime, it's engineered light. This is outside, so let me be thorough. This is a street lamp. You already know that they are surrounding while they're pacing all around. For example, driving in traffic, it's not traffic. There are demons that are crawling around on their bellies at engineered light. They're monitoring one person, and I'm exposing who they are monitoring. They're monitoring me, and they're doing so in concert with demons that are flying over in planes and helicopters, engaging in state surveillance, which is demonic activity exposed in the state of California. And this is a federal prosecution for the government's criminal activity. And I am capturing images right now of what is engineered light that's appearing on the walls inside of my apartment, which is impossible light activity, which you can see as I captured in still images as opposed to video, because for whatever reason, the camera of the video doesn't pick it up, but the still images, those lens capture it. And so that you can see, I just took this picture right now at 3:23 in the morning. This is engineered light. The pattern of the blinds is appearing on the side of the wall adjacent to the window. This same window is where the fake sun is remaining over me, and the pattern of the blinds is appearing on the ceiling. This is the same demonic environment where the entity, this pattern of the blinds is right now appearing adjacent to the window. This is speaking to the evidence of demon possession of the LAPD, who are engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with the means of audible activity. That condition is also shared by the people of the state. Demons stalking with method of audible activity creation while they are creating amplified audible activity with simultaneity to what it is that I'm doing on a communication device, which is inaudible while I'm not physically in the presence of any person, but yet you have the same demonic pattern, behavioral pattern in this demonic environment. This is revealing what is demonic activity, and it is going to be prosecuted as the sex offense while you are necessarily subject to criminal surveillance by the government, who has no right to keep you under surveillance in order to engage in stalking you in the manners that I'm pointing out that the demon possessed are doing, are engaging in a sex offense in a private space where the government has no business doing so directly and vicariously in concert with the demon possessed population, who are the people of the state, engaging in the elements of monitoring pursuant to the targeting that you are recognizing through the timing with which the audible activity occurs in the specific environment where engineered light is present in concert with the demons who are stalking in helicopter. This entire property is going to federal prison for the impunity that the people of the state exhibit while they're engaged in 24-hour surveillance. Any and every demon driving onto the grounds, any and every demon flying over the grounds, they are doing so in the shoes of the people of the state who are going to pay the federal consequences for engaging in state terrorism with the government, in the shoes of the government in that specific environment. Nobody's escaping federal prison living on the grounds of Alvarado Gardens. Everything that the entity is doing as one, the people of the state that live at the crime scene are going to answer for it with time in federal prison. And I continue to support through evidence and the articulation of the criminal conduct that the entity is engaging in, speaking to the necessity of ongoing enhancement of federal charges and sentencing while that entity is exhibiting malice and impunity while federal group stalking and monitoring remains underway. It's currently June 23rd, 2024. It's 3:26 a.m. and this is P.O.C.